Okay, can you, I have, for Esther's communication with you, here in this context, Esther comes in and centers herself and is able to communicate.
She allows herself to release her attention. That's why she really doesn't like to make announcements. But she releases her attention, and through the practice of meditation, allows her to achieve vibrational compatibility with us, so that then what we know is her knowing.
Okay, so does that, when she's not here, I mean, a lot of the stories you tell are about your communication with Esther after a certain situation happened and she talked to you. Is that something that has become just fluid with her, or does she have to stop to get in alignment?
She can receive us at any time because her practice of doing that is so entrenched. But the other day, because of something that had happened, she sat to write with us. That's the way she usually communicates with us. She takes her laptop and she just says, "Hey, Abraham, this is what's going on. I'd like your perspective about it," or something like that. And sometimes she puts some detail in it. It depends. And always what she's looking for is clarification/soothing. Clarification does soothe. And our response to her was, "Esther, you are in a tailspin. Go to bed." Does that answer your question?
Yeah.
But under a situation like this, in other words, she plans for this. She looks forward to being in this environment long before she's here. She makes sure that she's in a vibrational place of receiving us. Her words just now to us were, again, "I want to speak clearly your words." And she had this visceral feeling of her consciousness rising until it met with ours, so that our words could flow through her easily. So what's the point of your question? Because you have a point. It's a good one too.
In thinking about coming here, in pre-paving coming here and saying, why, if I have source energy in me, why do I need, what is the point of me coming out? Because she evidently has communication with you. Can I, not for the purpose of talking to a room, but just for my own
That's what we wish
alignment.
for all of you all the time. We want you to know your connection with source energy. We want you to discover the awesome power of non-resisted thought. We want you to discover what it's like to direct your thoughts into harmony with your own inner being. And the more you do that, the more you know when you're doing it and when you're not. The more you know the degree to which you are doing it. Esther sometimes has said to those up close to her, "I think I'll just go get Abraham and I'll just be Abraham from now on. It'll be easier for all of you." And almost everyone says, "Oh, but you're so much fun." And we don't want Esther to withdraw her consciousness from her Esther's perspective, which we think is the point of your question, because there's value in your physical human consciousness. At our very best, we are general in relationship to the things you want in comparison to the details that you are offering. The thing that we want you to hear is in the details of the life that you live, you put incremental, detailed information in your vortex. Then the law of attraction gathers them together and makes them a stronger and more magical, musical scenario. But we are not creating your reality. You are creating your own reality. We are backing up the reality that you are creating, which gets to the point of, am I the physical human or am I the non-physical? And we say, when we are in sync with each other, is there a distinction that needs to be made? So then that brings out your question a little further. Well, is there value in me not being so tuned in, tapped in, turned on with you? Yes, the value is this. In your not being completely tuned in with what is non-physical knowledge and understanding of what's in the vortex, you reach into the contrast that you are living with more definition, and you ask for things that we don't ask for. There is a reason for the physicalness of that which you are. You're more detailed in what you are asking for.
So that's the expansion is coming because I've got that human perspective that's separate.
Because words don't teach. It's only life experience that teaches. And so you said, I'll go into a ever-changing, you use the word dynamic, I'll go forward into an ever-changing mix of consciousness. And from that ever-changing mix of consciousness, I will sift the nuggets of my personal desire. You all said that. And as that nugget of personal desire, that unique nugget of personal desire is honed by me and specified by me and launched by me, the universe expands in a way it could not if I did not exist in that state of consciousness. Your physical life causes you to do the asking.
Right. But isn't it my human, going back, temporariness, even though that's an illusion, let's say, but isn't it that perspective that allows me to
So you said something
that.
like this. I'm pure non-physical energy, you said, before your birth into this body. I'm pure non-physical energy. And I know the laws of the universe, and I am fully empowered. And now, a part of this consciousness that is me, I'm going to present or project or focus into a new leading edge environment where there are unlimited potential new experiences and so many unknowns. Now humans say, why? Why? Why would I be all-knowing and all-powerful? What could possibly be the reason that I would focus my consciousness into something that's new? And we say, because in the new combining, there is a new desire that is born. In other words, it's this eternal, never-ending, creative experience. It's what eternity is about, without exposure to contrast. So now let's think about it. Let's step back. You all right? Because this is right out there on the leading edge. So the differences that we have described between you and your humanness and non-physical is that while there is resistance in every particle of the universe, even in non-physical, the resistance that exists in the non-physical, where source is, where what you call God is, where your inner being is, would not be discernible from your physical perspective. It is so refined that if there were an instrument that could read contrast, it could not read contrast in non-physical, because it would need to be an instrument that is so refined that it does not exist. Just to make a distinction, it still exists. It's just not discernible from your human perspective. So what are we saying in that? We're saying something that our earlier friend wanted to say. There's a sort of grounding in the physicalness. There's a willingness to expose yourself to a greater degree of contrast, because out of the contrast is born the new. You weren't as willing as you act like you are now in this regard. You knew you were being born with guidance, and you knew that while you were going to be exposed to contrast, that you would feel when you'd gone too far. You knew that your guidance system would let you know if you were reaching beyond the bounds that your inner being would be willing to go. You knew you weren't going to fall out of an airplane. You knew you were completely safe in the process of that. You were willing to come into a physical experience where you did not have that kind of control, because the expansion was the bigger prize. The eternal nature of your beingness mattered more to you than the security of staying the same. And so it's this perfect process where the non-physical part of you said, we'll remain here constant and sure, and you're the pioneers out here on the leading edge where you will discover something new that you want. And as soon as you want it, we will acknowledge the perfection of that which you have honed from this, and we will give our undivided attention to the new desire that is born within you, and we will make it so vibrationally. And you said, because we are all creators and the leading edge is out here where you are, you said, and I, in my physical form, will connect with the energy that creates worlds, and together we will make this idea that was born out of contrast something that is real, that is tangible, that others can live and see. You get it? Out of war, you want peace. And out of a desire for peace, you discover a way to live it. but you do it in concert with this energy that creates worlds. This is a big topic. We got all over it.
So, in a way, I agree to be ignorant of that.
I agreed that instead of a band like this of exploration, that I would be born into a body where I had a band like this of exploration. Because I knew out of a band like this of exploration that it would launch more rockets of desire over here to where they're tended under this band of exploration. I was willing to get out there on the leading, bleeding edge a little bit for the purpose of discovering something that is more. But there's a really big point that we have not woven into this. The why of all of it. Why? Why, if I'm pure positive energy and I'm experiencing no resistance, which is what so many humans think is the objective that we're teaching here, it isn't. We can see how you might decide that from what you hear from us. If you're in a place of no resistance, why would you come into a place where there's more resistance? Because out of that, you give birth to new ideas. Well, what's the point of giving birth to a new idea if giving birth to a new idea, I'm just going to allow it and receive it? What's the point? In other words, what's the point of expansion? What's the point of evolution? What's the point of becoming more? Because it's so fun to go from less to more. It's so satisfying when your life gives you an idea of something that you might like to experience beyond what is. And when your life gives you a big idea, a big reason for wanting something to be better. And then you find ways of releasing resistance of what's missing and finding the belief in the laws of the universe and the steady I of your non-physical inner being. And you get in concert with that, so that you have the vision of what you're reaching for, so that the vision of what you're reaching for is more emphatic than the reality that exists outside of it, or the reality that even gave birth to it. And then you stand in the power of that energy, and you get to witness all of the forces of the universe bringing your idea into reality. Becoming is a big deal. Becoming is a big deal. In fact, it's an eternal deal. It's a deal that you can't stop becoming. You can't cease being in the process of becoming. But a lot of what we say falls on deaf ears with you, with humans, because you just keep wanting to get the becoming done so that you can have become. I don't want to create my fortune. I just want my fortune. And I don't want to attract my lover. I just want to be with my lover. I don't want to come to know it. I want to know it. And we say, it's the becoming that is what life really is. The never-ending becoming. That's the juicy stuff. And so that's why physicality is so delicious, because in physicality, there's a start point. Here I am, and now what do I want? And life causes you to launch it whether you want to or not. But when you come to understand the laws of the universe, and then you deliberately click into the vibration of what you've already given birth to, even though it hasn't manifested. And then you get to tune into the energy so much that you begin seeing the vision and seeing the movie and having the daydream and feeling the impulses. And then you follow those feelings and you follow those impulses and you watch your own hands in the clay, turning the thoughts that once you thought, the vibrations that you once offered. You get the experience, the delicious experience of those thoughts turning to things. You get to witness that, you see. And in your lazy humanness, you might say, oh, big deal. But we promise you, it is a really big deal. Sometimes you're so tired that these words just sound like, oh, really? I'd just like to die and rest. But what's making you tired is your own resistance. And when you discover the power of non-resistant thought, then you're going to explore the palette of diversity to which you are focused in a whole new way. You're going to love every single person that does every single weird thing. You're going to appreciate all the trouble that they make for each other, because it's the stuff that your new thoughts are made out of. You come with a hunger for the expansion of that which you are. And why is that hunger never satisfied? Why is that hunger to expand never satisfied? Because it's that good.